In a quiet village, far away from the noise of the city, where the roads were narrow and the trees seemed older than time itself, 4 young NYSC members arrived to begin their 1-year service. They came with excitement and complaints. Tunde was the first to jump down from the bus, stretching his arms and looking around with a grin. So this is where they've brought us. No network, no light, we don't suffer. Sadiq laughed loudly behind him. My brother, na survival camp be this. Bola stepped down slowly, scanning the environment with unease. The silence bothered him. It wasn't the peaceful kind. It felt watchful. Only Ifeoma said nothing. She stood still for a moment, her eyes fixed on something in the distance. The forest. Tall, thick, and strangely still. For a brief second, she felt something she couldn't explain. Then she looked away. That evening, the villagers welcomed them warmly. Food was served, greetings were exchanged, and laughter filled the air. But when they were finally taken to meet the king, everything changed. The old man sat quietly. His presence alone commanded respect. His face was calm, but his eyes carried weight. After welcoming them, he leaned forward slightly and spoke in a slow, careful tone. You are free to move anywhere in this village, he said. Speak to anyone, learn from us, live among us. Then he paused. But there is one place you must never go. The room fell silent. The forest behind this village, he continued. Do not enter it. Tunde frowned slightly. Why, Your Highness? The king looked directly at him. Not angry, not smiling, just still. Because not everything in that forest is alive, and not everything there is dead. A chill passed through the room. Even Sadiq didn't laugh this time. Back at their lodge, the tension quickly disappeared. Abeg, Sadiq scoffed, lying on his mat. Now village people talk, them just they form mystery. Tunde nodded. Maybe now where them they hide something, or ritual place, nothing serious. Bola sat quietly in one corner. What if it's not a joke? He asked. Tunde chuckled. You two they fear too much. But Ifeoma remained silent again. She didn't know why, but something about the king's voice stayed with her. 3 days passed, and boredom began to grow. No internet, no proper electricity, no real activity. Just long days and even longer nights. Until one afternoon, Tunde sat up and said what had been on his mind. Let's go to the forest. Sadiq immediately smiled. Adventure. Bola shook his head. I'm not going. But pressure has a way of working. And in the end, all 4 of them stood at the edge of the forest. The moment they stepped in, something changed. It was subtle at first. The air felt heavier. The sounds of the village disappeared behind them. No birds, no insects, just silence. The kind of silence that presses against your ears. Why everywhere quiet like this? Bola whispered. No one answered. Even Tunde had stopped joking. They walked deeper. Each step slower than the last. Then suddenly Sadiq stopped. Wait, he said. They all turned. Did you hear that? They listened. At first, nothing. Then faintly, a whisper. Soft, like someone calling from far away. But there was no one there. They continued walking until they saw it. A tree, but not like the others. Its bark looked strange, almost wet, like it was alive in a way it shouldn't. Tunde stepped closer. See this one? He placed his hand on it, then quickly pulled back. It's warm. Sadiq laughed. Beg, make I try. He touched it too and smiled. Nothing did happen, but something had already begun. Minutes later, Sadiq slowed down. His steps became uneven. His breathing changed. I feel somehow, he said. They stopped. What do you mean? Ifeoma asked. But before he could answer, his expression shifted. His eyes lost focus, like he was listening to something only he could hear. That was when Ifeoma spoke firmly. "We need to leave, now." They turned back, but the path they came from was gone. Everything looked the same. Trees, ground, direction, gone. Bola's voice shook. "We're lost." Panic began to rise. Then suddenly, darkness fell. Not gradually, not naturally. One moment it was afternoon, the next moment night. Complete, heavy, unnatural. And then Sadiq started laughing. Slowly, low, wrong. "Why you na the fear?" he said. "We never even start." They all froze. That was not Sadiq's voice. Tunde grabbed him. "Guy, stop that!" Sadiq turned, smiling, but his eyes were not his own. Something else was looking through them. That was when they ran. No plan, no direction, just instinct. Branches hit their faces, their feet slipped on the ground, their hearts pounded wildly. The forest no longer felt like a place. It felt like something watching them, something following them. Then suddenly, light. They burst out of the forest, falling onto the ground, gasping for breath, shaking, alive. But Sadiq was not. He collapsed moments later, his body burning with fever, his lips moving, whispering words no one understood. The villagers gathered quickly. Their faces changed the moment they heard. They went into the forest. The king arrived shortly. He looked at them, not angry, just disappointed. "You brought something back," he said quietly. Ifeoma felt her chest tighten. "What do we do?" she asked. The king's voice was low. "Pray that it leaves." That night, no one slept. Sadiq screamed, not like a human being. His voice echoed in layers, like more than one voice was speaking at once. The air grew cold. Doors shook slightly. Even the wind felt wrong. Then suddenly, silence. Everything stopped. Sadiq lay still, too still. Minutes passed. Then slowly, he opened his eyes. Normal, calm, like nothing had happened. Days passed, and everything returned to normal. Sadiq recovered, the fear faded. Life moved on. But none of them ever spoke about that day again. Until one night, Ifeoma woke up suddenly. Something felt wrong. The room was quiet, too quiet. Then she heard it. A whisper, soft, close, right beside her. "Here, you left." Her heart stopped, but I didn't. Slowly, she turned, and in the darkness, she saw Sadiq standing there, watching her, smiling, the same smile from the forest. And in that moment, she understood. They had escaped the forest, but the forest had not let them go.